Okay, hi. I'm sitting outside my house in Mill Creek. It's lovely out here. I got the lapel mic to try and block out some of the traffic noise. And I got Yarrow on the mind and in the body and in the heart. And so I wanted to come to talk about Yarrow, which is such a fundamental and foundational essence in the flower essences repertoire that I work with. A Californian, it is sourced, anyways, the essence is sourced from the beautiful Terra Flora Gardens in California. And that's Patricia Kaminsky and Richard Katz's gig that I hope to go to one day. Anyway, Yarrow is for boundaries, and it's really been coming into the blends that I've been making for people lately and has made its way into my own yet again. Boundaries, are such an exploration. On one hand, I've heard people express that there is some kind of like guardedness can come up when we're trying to practice boundaries. And that's not the aim. A lovely person who I care for studies the roots of the history of words, etymology. I think that's how you pronounce it. I might be wrong. Anyway, and she looked up the word boundary and shared that with me. And it was described as more of like a touch point. And so a touch point that allows you to know, that brings you back to yourself, so that when you wander off beyond that touch point, there's some sort of symbolic touch point. There's a symbolic touch point that reminds you and brings you back to yourself. And so Yarrow is for a healthy sense of boundaries and self-containment. Over the years, I've really shoved away the word empath in my industry. I've been moving in the holistic and alternative healthcare field for 15 years now. And I've noticed that sometimes some people in the industry have abused the word empath as a way of shirking personal responsibility or spiritually bypassing their own issues or their own points for personal work and development. And so sometimes the word empath can be thrown around, such as, oh, that's not my stuff. Oh, that's just someone else's stuff. And sometimes that's really accurate. Sometimes we are processing other people's stuff or emotions or thoughts or energetics through our bodies, but not all the time. And so where's that distinction? When are we truly legitimately processing other people's stuff through our beings inappropriately? And when is it time for us to have a look and do our own work? And Yarrow helps with that distinction. Yarrow can be described as though a spiritual sieve. And a sieve, if you think about one of those fine wire sieves, if you're making a recipe, let's say a cake, and you use the sieve functions to bring the ingredients that will lend to goodness and success for the recipe. It allows those ingredients to come through while keeping coarse materials on the other side of the sieve itself. And so Yarrow functions very much in the same way. If we consider the recipe of our lives or our soul's journey, evolution, growth, expansion, the Yarrow flower essence, when we ingest it, connects it to that part of ourselves, or connects us to that part of ourselves that can distinguish between which ingredients we want to come through into our auric field or into our space, into our personal containment for the goodness of our soul's growth and evolution, and which coarser materials do we want to keep on the other side. Which is not about exclusivity or shoving anyone away or being guarded or any of that. It's like a semi-permeable membrane in the same way that our large intestine is. So imagine if we were to let everything through, we would be sick and we would struggle with some pretty uncomfortable symptoms. That's what leaky gut is. I can attest to the symptomology of leaky gut. We want to have some discrimination about what we're letting in and what we're keeping on the other side of the auric field, or what we're letting in and through the digestive system and what we're not allowing to come through, large macromolecules. And so Yarrow flower essence helps us with that on an energetic level. It helps to teach us about a healthy sense of boundaries, healthy self-containment. Yeah, what a beautiful remedy. Everyone should have a good dose of Yarrow now and again as they process and progress with their personal growth exploration. Anyway, Yarrow, love it. One of my faves.